Is Mayweather a good person because of this? No. But your wife is a worse person. There is a very long history of feuds in the world of professional music. When I say that, you may be thinking of feuds dating back to when you were a child or even before you were born. Things like David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar, Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher and Axl Rose and literally everyone that he's ever met. Or maybe you're thinking even further back, like the feuds that arose in Creedence Clearwater Revival or the Everly Brothers. I have no idea what any of these things are other than the Gallagher Brothers. They were in Oasis. They were Oasis and they sing, and now they're getting together for a reunion tour. Yay! I don't care. Really though, musical feuds go back so much further. In the classical world, there was Wagner versus Brahms, Debussy versus Saint-Saëns, and so many more. But instead of these, we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to Simon's heart, the world of hip-hop. I know very, very little about hip-hop. There is just something about hip-hop feuds that makes them so much more entertaining, and there are a lot of them. In fact, there are far too many to fit into a single episode. So if this episode does well, you can look forward to a sequel featuring stories like Eminem wrecking someone so badly after he called Eminem's 16-year-old daughter hot that the dude had to switch genres, and Nicki Minaj feuding with her fans because they didn't like that she married a convicted sex offender and bailed her brother out of jail for child sexual assault charges, on which he has since been convicted. Oh, shit. That's not a good look. Your PR person should be like, no, you have to distance yourself from your brother. I know family comes first, but it's not a good look. But those are stories for next time. So for now, sit back and relax while Simon learns about a world of savage insults, gunshot wounds, and of course, Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I know nothing this is from several months ago, right? The Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing. I didn't even know who Kendrick Lamar was. I'd heard of Drake because he's mega famous. I don't think I've ever heard a Drake song, and people are like,
oh, Simon, you must have heard them on the radio.
I don't f***ing listen to the radio. I'm a normal person. I listen to Spotify.
Daddy, chill.
Let me interrupt today's video to tell about our wonderful sponsor today, and that is Squarespace. Long time. I swear I've been saying Squarespace is a long-time friend of the show for a long time. Thank you to them. You keep the lights on. And they also allow you to make an incredible website without really having to try. I mean, you got to try a little bit. Like, you've got to go and sign up for a Squarespace account. But after that, you just choose that template. They even have these like AI functions now, which make it was easy before with the drag and drop stuff, but now it's just, it's even easier somehow. I remember back in the day I'd have to learning how to make a website. Anyone else remember GeoCities? It says not to mention competitors in the ad copy, but I'm pretty sure GeoCities doesn't count, and you'd be making some hideous looking website that'd be covered in ads. And let's just say we've come a long way since the early 2000s, because now it's an afternoon and you've got a beautiful website with Squarespace. I'm sorry, Squarespace, back to your talking points. That AI thing I was talking about is apparently called design intelligence. It's like having a designer on standby. You don't need to be a web guru to build something beautiful. Trust me, I'm so far away from a web guru. My wife's a graphic designer. And I'm always like, why does this look so bad? What did I do wrong? And she's like, you did everything wrong. You've disobeyed all the rules of design. And I'm like, can you fix it for me? And she's like, I'll just start again. I'll just start again, won't I? Oh, God, but not with Squarespace. My wife, I built my own website using Squarespace. It looks great. My wife she probably has never even been to my website. But it looks fine. It looks good. Plus, you can accept payments with Squarespace if you're selling something. And most importantly, it allows you to use Apple Pay, because websites without Apple Pay are just, I don't know, you're less likely to buy something from something without Apple Pay or whatever the Android equivalent is, aren't you? Google Pay. Plus, you've got Acuity Scheduling. If you're booking appointments or services, it's seamlessly integrated. You can schedule, take payments, get reminders, everything you need to stay organized. So what are you waiting for? Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/blaze to save 10% of your first purchase of a website or a domain. That's squarespace.com/blaze. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring. And now back to today's episode. 50 Cent versus Floyd Mayweather. Only one of the people in this feud may have been a hip-hop star, but it's still a funny story. For nearly a decade, 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather were the best of friends. They palled around together all the time, and when Mayweather fought Oscar de la Hoya in 2007, he was accompanied into the ring by 50, performing his song Straight to the Bank live for the first time. The following year, 50 again accompanied Mayweather to the ring at the WWE pay-per-view No Way Out. This was a stunt to promote Mayweather Promotions, a boxing firm he had founded the previous year, but it was still a bizarre match, and I don't know why it happened. The PPV match featured 5'8", 150-pound Mayweather in a... Whoa, Floyd Mayweather's 5'8"? Really? In a wrestling match against the 7-foot-tall, 400-pound Big Show. Bro's gonna get destroyed. It was an incredibly boring match that ended with the boxing champion taking a steel chair to the Big Show's face multiple times before punching him with brass knuckles. All right, it's WWE, so it's staged. But I'm getting off track. The point is that 50 and Mayweather were great friends who seemingly did everything together. There was even talk that they would release an album together.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Though 50 said he would only do it in the lead up to a fight between Mayweather and Filipino Senator Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's a senator in the Philippines. That's right, after boxing, Pacquiao became a senator in the Philippines because why not? Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor of California. Ronald Reagan became president. It happens. Soon I shall be prime minister. Watch out, Keir. The proposed business ventures weren't just related to music, of course. Mr. Cent had been an amateur boxer himself before making it as a rapper, and in 2012, he and Mayweather were going to start a boxing promotions company called The Money Team. The plan was for it to be a 50-50 venture. They would each have half ownership, take on half the startup costs, and receive half the profits. However, there was just one issue that Mayweather had to attend to first: a 60-day jail sentence for domestic battery conviction. Oh, dude, just keep the fighting in the ring, bro. Less domestic battery. Come on. Nicki Minaj probably bailed him out, allegedly.
Right to jail.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Relax. Nicki Minaj's lawyers, okay? I don't even know who you are. While Mayweather was locked up, 50 took the initiative to get things rolling with their company. He applied for boxing licenses in New York and Las Vegas and began signing boxers to promote. He believed he was doing exactly what his partner would have wanted, but it turned out that he was wrong. It sounds like he's doing a good job. He's like doing the work and you're getting half the, your half, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting around in prison doing dick all. I got bitten by something. What the? It's autumn and I'm inside. What is this? There are differing accounts of exactly why this pissed off Mayweather so much. Some say, though never to his face, that he was just being a little bitch, and he was angry because he wanted to be the one to make all the decisions. Others claim that 50 had made bad deals Mayweather would never have agreed to, such as paying too much for the boxers he had signed. Either way, once Mayweather was free, 50 wanted half of the money. But Mayweather refused to pay. Instead, he went on a spending spree, buying a Lamborghini and expensive, disgustingly gaudy jewelry. Yeah, dude, I'm sure it's not even that much money to you. It's not like he couldn't have afforded the $2 million that 50 believed he was owed as Mayweather's share of the costs either. That's only 0.5% of Mayweather's estimate. He's worth $400 million. God damn, dude. I know that Simon has stated on numerous occasions that you can't trust any of those estimated net worth numbers you see online, but we know that Mayweather has earned $1.2 billion from his boxing career, so that estimate is well within the realm of possibility. I mean, yeah, it is. It really is. Fuck, that's a lot of money. I mean, even after taxes and outrageous spending, that's still going to be a lot of money. Maybe not. I mean, people spend. People spend. Anyway, this dispute over money quickly ruined the long friendship that the two had previously had. When 50 demanded his money, Mayweather instead went to Twitter to post a graph showing the massive decline in 50's album sales over the years, taunting him and claiming he was broke. That is such a dick move, dude. I'm 100% on 50's side here. They went back and forth over the course of 24 hours, then 50 claimed it was all just a publicity stunt and things died down for a bit. Over the next couple of years, Mayweather had a bunch of unrelated drama involving other rappers and women. Allegedly, Nelly had sex with Mayweather's first wife and then stole his fiancée. Mayweather then got into a brawl with rapper T.I. at a Las Vegas Fatburger after T.I. saw pictures on his wife's phone of her with Mayweather. I mean, look, the person you should be upset with there is not Mayweather, it's your wife, T.I. It's your wife you should be upset with. Don't go to any domestic battery, that would be weird, but it's not Mayweather's fault. Is Mayweather a good person because of this? No. But your wife is a worse person, T.I. He wound up posting on social media, fuck Nelly, fuck T.I., and fuck 50, even though the latter had nothing to do with any of this. Yeah, my understanding is 50's a good dude, right? I always thought he was like, I mean, I don't know anything about this scene, but I always thought, isn't 50 like generally regarded as being quite good? Quite a decent person? Like, he's not doing anything crazy? Just seems to be like a nice guy, right? This pissed 50 off, though his viral response requires 3 pieces of context. First, this was 2014, when the Ice Bucket Challenge was all the rage. Second, 50 and his first son had been estranged for a couple of years, and still are. A couple of years ago, his son posted a picture of himself with $6,700 cash, offering to give it to 50 in exchange for one day together, doing all the things he never got to do with his father growing up. I mean, that's tacky. And also 50 cents, 50 cent, bro. He doesn't need $6,700. Come on now. He's either doing it for free or he's not doing it at all. The offer was not accepted, and allegedly 50 has blocked his son on social media. And finally, radio host Charlemagne the God had recently shared a clip of Mayweather showing that he was seemingly illiterate. As is customary when a celebrity is on a radio show, Mayweather was asked to do a quick 10-second ad read. You know, the ones like, "Rock-a-doodle-doo, I'm Floyd Mayweather, and you're listening to Big Tasty and Little Yum Yum in the morning, WTAF." The audio clip was over a minute long, and it was bad. Like, it was really bad. I definitely wouldn't call Mayweather illiterate, as he was able to clearly identify the words, but he was struggling heavily to pass the words in front of him into a coherent-sounding sentence. To be fair, his biggest confusion seemed to come from things like reading a URL and the network's name, iHeartRadio. To be even more fair, the dude got punched in the face for a living, so maybe give him a break. Yeah, I don't think it's really fair to make fun of someone who can't read. That's a seriously low blow. Regardless, 50 wasted no time in responding to Mayweather, saying, "Fuck you." He posted an Ice Bucket Challenge video in which he offered to donate $750,000 to the charity of Mayweather's choosing if he could read one full page from a Harry Potter book. He then posted a second video in which he claimed that he got a call from Jimmy Kimmel, who was willing to host the event on his show. Dude, Mayweather's he's super rich, right? Just make a video response of you writing a check for $750,000 to your favorite charity, because that makes you look fucking awesome, and you can easily afford it, my dude. And to make things more fair for Mayweather, he would only have to read a page from The Cat in the Hat instead. This may sound fairly brutal, but it wasn't nearly as savage or personal as Mayweather's reply. He tweeted back at 50, "I see your $750,000 and raise you $1 million if you can post a video of your son saying he loves you." Oh! That is fucking savage, my dude! That tweet was deleted relatively quickly and was allegedly posted by an assistant, not Mayweather himself. Oh, please. That's the sort of shit I would say if I posted something that did go out. It was Liam! That was largely the end of the public feud, though 50 continued to make jokes about Mayweather's alleged inability to read. Eventually, everything died down, and the two became friends again a couple of years later. Of course, that all ended again this year when Mayweather was being interviewed on the Pivot podcast. He was asked a question about his 3-year-old grandson, and for seemingly no reason, Mayweather answered the question by talking about the allegations of abuse and sexual assault by Diddy. It's already weird that he would bring up that unprovoked, but even more shocking was his take on the matter. Mayweather said, "My take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right and all, and I don't condone it. Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt. But that's a choice my daughter made, so I don't want to kick nobody while they're down." Bruh. It's not the choice. The podcast host did immediately push back and say that no, being sexually assaulted is not a choice, but needless to say. What the f*** are you talking about? The rest of needless to say 50 and the rest of the internet had a lot of choice words for Mayweather following that interview. Bro, your PR person's just like actually tearing their hair out behind the scenes. Megan Thee Stallion and the people of the state of California versus Tony Lanez. I have no idea who Megan... I'm assuming it's Megan Thee Stallion rather than Megan the Stallion. There's 2 E's on the name. Not sure if it's a typo. I'm going with Megan Thee Stallion. There have been a lot of cases of rap feuds ending in gunfire, but this one seems to have happened in reverse. Megan Thee Stallion began her rise... Oh, Megan Thee Stallion is a woman. I know nothing about this stuff. And their name's even Megan. For some reason, I just thought Megan was a dude. Why? Why is it like this? In 2019, with the release of her song Hot Girl Summer featuring Nicki Minaj and Ty Dolla $ign. I've heard of Nicki Minaj. Who is this person? Megan Thee Stallion? No idea who this is. I don't know who Ty Dolla $ign is. She then exploded in popularity with the 2020 song Savage, partially thanks to the remix featuring Beyonce. And if I've heard of Beyonce, I haven't heard of the song Savage. And of course, that same year, she was featured on Cardi B's infamous chart topper, Wet Ass. I've heard of this, because this was there's that Ben Shapiro clip of him saying
wet ass P-word. P-word is
female genitalia.
Sounded like a right gain. It was also in 2020 when Megan met Canadian rapper Tony Lanez. Another person I've never heard of. Tory Lanez, sorry. Tory, not Tony. Why is it so hard? Who I'd honestly never heard of before this incident. Don't feel bad, Kevin. Don't feel bad. I guess he's had Tory's a girl's name. I guess he's had like 7 albums debut in the Billboard Top 10, but he's definitely not a name I would have been familiar with were it not for Megan. Regardless, the two met in early 2020 and quickly became friends. They were seen attending parties together against the CDC's recommendations, COVID, and rumors began circulating that the two were dating. Although they never had a romantic relationship, Megan would later admit under oath that the two had a brief sexual relationship after bonding over the death of their mothers. That's weird, bro. Which is weird beyond words. Yes, Kevin. Same page. Or maybe I'm the weird one and I just missed the line in the song where she said, "Tell me about your dead mama, that's some wet ass." Still not as stupid of a dead mum related plot twist as Batman vs Superman, though, agreed. It was a terrible movie. Anyway, it was after, and I like Batman and I like Superman, but that was a bad one.
Scars are like muscles on the outside of your body, and they make you strong against dicks who don't understand how cool you are.
Anyway, it was after one of those parties they were attending in July of 2020, this one hosted by Kylie Jenner. It began with Tori's bodyguard and one of Megan's friends in the car with them. Some sort of argument ensued in which Megan told Tori that he wasn't very good at rapping, and so he pulled out a gun and shot her. And that's barely an oversimplification of things. Megan demanded that she be let out of the car, so they pulled over and she got out. As she was walking away with her back to the car, Tori pulled out his gun and fired multiple times at the unarmed woman like a big man. She was hit in the foot and eventually wound up back inside the car. A witness heard the gunshots and called 911, and so the SUV with... I feel like these people are using guns like they're toys. They're guns, dude! This was only 2 months after the George Floyd incident, so Megan lied to the police and said that her foot was bleeding because she stepped on broken glass, fearing that telling the truth would get someone killed. After searching the vehicle, police drove Megan to the hospital and arrested Tony for concealing a loaded gun in the vehicle. Once she was in the hospital, Megan told hospital staff that she had been shot. Days later, she posted on Instagram that she'd been shot in the foot and required surgery, but did not name her attacker. Perhaps that could have been the end of it. Megan seemed to want to handle things privately and quietly, and it's unclear whether or not she had any intention of cooperating with the authorities and telling her full story. However, Tori instead started running his mouth everywhere, trying to turn all of the drama into some sort of sex scandal. Instead, that's a bad idea, dude. Your lawyer should be like, shut the fuck up. Stop it!
Oh, you're a lawyer?
As a result, about a month after the incident, Megan publicly identified Tori as her shooter. Well done. Good move. The following month, Tori released the album Daystar. The album name actually comes from his legal name, which is Daystar Shmuel Shua Peterson. Daystar featured 17 songs, and at least 8 of them reference Megan and the shoot. Don't rap about your crimes. Even if most didn't call her out by name, essentially, the entire thing was a concept album, and the concept was that Megan was lying, he was being framed, and that she didn't even really get shot. At the eventual trial, x-rays of Megan's foot that still contained metal fragments confirmed that yes, she really had been shot. Just 2 months later, Megan's new album, Good News, featured a song called Shots Fired that was about the shooting. All of 2020 was a busy time for this story, but things died down a bit after that. They each released another song about the other, though Tori's was mainly focused on Megan's new boyfriend. Although the feud itself was short-lived, the ramifications were not. After a 2-day trial, Tori was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Bro, you made a huge mistake, dude. Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Unless you live under a pop culture rock like Simon, you've almost certainly at least vaguely aware of the feud between Kendrick and Drake that played out over the course of the last year. So how did we get here? Yeah, vaguely. I know there was a feud, I don't really know much about it. I don't really care. I just don't have any interest in this stuff. I feel like I should do a YouTube channel that just talks about it like this because I care about it so little that I actually find it funny. I just have no idea what the fuck's going on. The two have actually been feuding for over a decade for an arguably stupid reason. They met in the early 2010s when Drake was already a huge star and Kendrick was just starting to come up. The two collaborated together, with Kendrick appearing on Drake's 2011 album Take Care and opening for Drake during his 2012 tour. It seemed like things were going great, with one of the biggest stars at the time recognizing an up-and-coming talent and help give him his big break and whatnot. But things quickly went south in 2013 when Kendrick did a verse on Big Sean's Control. In the Control verse, Kendrick took aim at a bunch of other rappers, calling them out by name. This obviously included Drake, though weirdly it also included Big Sean. It feels rude to diss someone in their own song on their own album, but it actually made decent enough sense in context. Even though Kendrick was calling out all these people by name, there weren't any personal attacks against them. He basically just said, I've got nothing but love for you all, but I'm going to murder you with my lyrics so badly that your fans won't even remember your names and will all love me instead. This is just good-natured. Right? Again, in the context of hip-hop, lyrics like that make sense. Every rapper thinks that they're the best and says so in all of their songs, but someone has to actually be the best. As Kendrick explained in an interview, he saw the rap game as a competition and wanted to battle with these other guys to see who really was the best. And if you think about it, the only people he was really dissing in the Control verse were the ones whose names he didn't feel were even worth mentioning. In general, everyone thought this was pretty great. Everybody except for Drake, who took it weirdly personally. Drake struggled to wrap his head around the idea that Kendrick would be so mean on an album, but then so nice in person, as if the concept of friendly competition was completely foreign to him. It's really bizarre. Is this where it all started? This is so silly. And again, the Control verse didn't even have any personal attacks. Kendrick just named a bunch of people, including Drake, and said, "I got love for you all, but I'm gonna try and murder you." But that was all it took, and so the feud began. For the next 10 years, everything was pretty subtle. Both Drake and Kendrick released a bunch of songs referred to as sneak disses, passive-aggressive comments in which a person calls someone out without actually saying their name, like subtweeting. For 10 years, it seemed like that's all this beef was going to be, until October 2023, when Drake released a song, First Person Shooter, featuring J. Cole, in which J. Cole referred to himself, Drake, and Kendrick as the Big Three, suggesting they were currently the best rappers in the world, and also claiming to be number one himself, because that's just how it goes. Kendrick did not take kindly to this comment. From the start, he had said he wanted rap to be a competition, and that he wanted to be the absolute best. On March the 26th, 2024, Kendrick was featured on the song Like That by Future, and in it, Kendrick said, "Motherfuck the Big Three, it's just me," which, again, makes total sense from the viewpoint of treating rap as a friendly competition. It's a friendly competition. It's like sports. You don't actually hate each other. It's just a bit of fun. Relax. It was pretty tame overall, but it was still a marked shift, as it was the first time Kendrick called Drake out by name. But on the 13th of April, Drake released his response, Push-Ups. In the song, he implied that Kendrick's fiancée cheated on him and that someone else was the father of his kid, as well as mocking him for being only 5'5". A few days later, Drake released another diss track, Tailor-Made Freestyle, featuring AI-generated voices of Snoop Dogg and the late Tupac. The song criticized Kendrick for having collaborated with pop artists like Taylor Swift, because working with the biggest musical artist in the world is obviously career suicide. Yeah, sounds like you're a little bit jealous because you didn't work with Taylor Swift. People had a lot of feelings about this AI song, especially Tupac's estate. He didn't get permission? Bro. He threatened to sue if Drake didn't take the song down. Snoop Dogg, who was decidedly too old for this shit, had a different response. He posted a video to Instagram in which he looked rather sleepy and said,
"They did what? When? How? Are you sure? Y'all have a good night."
A couple of weeks later, Kendrick finally responded with the song Euphoria. In the song, he said that he hated Drake, repeatedly. He also said that Drake was a shitty father, claiming his abs were made with plastic surgery, and made fun of him for not being black enough, which is a topic I'm not going to get into, but is something that has come up in Drake's career before. At this point, people were really excited. It looked like this was going to be a good old-fashioned rap feud like hadn't happened since the 1990s, but a couple of days later, on May the 3rd, things really went down. Kendrick released another diss track, 616 in LA, saying that everybody who worked for Drake hated him so much that they were all feeding him dirt about Drake. Later that day, Drake released Family Matters, in which he accused Kendrick of domestic abuse and named Kendrick's friend and label co-founder as the real father of his child. Less than an hour later, Kendrick dropped his song Meet the Grahams, Graham being Drake's last name. The beginning of the song was directed at Drake's 6-year-old son and opened with the lyrics, "Dear Adonis." He called his son Adonis. "I'm sorry that you're mad. That man is your father." Kendrick also directed verses at Drake's parents, Drake himself, and an alleged daughter that he claimed Drake had and was not taken care of. Fun fact, people only even knew Drake had a son after it was revealed by rapper Pusha T in their feud years earlier. Perhaps most importantly, though, Kendrick's track featured a lot of allegations leveled against Drake, particularly involving his alleged illegal behavior with underage girls. This is going real far. The internet went insane over Meet the Grahams and how brutally savage it was, but they just had one complaint. You couldn't dance to it. Kendrick was lyrically murdering Drake, but in a sort of ballady way that you couldn't shake your ass to. So the next day, Kendrick released Not Like Us, a song so catchy that it's easy to forget it's a diss track, which expanded on the allegations against Drake. Holy shit, can he make a catchy track in like a day? That's fucking nuts. He made much more direct statements, such as, "Say Drake, I hear you like him young. You better not ever go to cell block 1, and the much more clever, why are you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor." Is it clever? Drake released his response, the Heart Park 6, which is when most people agree that he lost this war. In the song, Drake said that this was all his plan and that he and his team were feeding Kendrick false information for him to accuse Drake of, so Kendrick would look like a big idiot if it was disproven. And sure, that could have been his big plan, but it ignores the fact that people dug up articles from 2015 alleging that Drake did have a daughter. Also, if this was Drake's plan and Kendrick was being fed lies, why those particular lies? People were already weirded out that Drake was friends with Millie Bob Brown from Stranger Things back when she was 14, so maybe lie about something that is less believable and more easily refuted. Yes, maybe you should. Smoke and fire, you know? The final chapter of this saga thus far took place in June at the Pop-Out concert. It was a one-night event, and Kendrick opened the show with Euphoria and closed it with Not Like Us. As an encore, he then performed Not Like Us 5 times in a row, and it was a spectacle. God damn, dude. There were lots of guests during the various performances, and Kendrick even got the Bloods and the Crips to come on stage together and preach a message of peace and unity while they all danced on Drake's grave, and the entire audience sang along with the song that was calling Drake a child predator. This is fucking insane. But don't worry, this was definitely all Drake's plan. No, it wasn't, Drake, and you lost, didn't you? Shit, that's the end of the episode. Bruh. It's not the